Alright guys, welcome back to GSTL Venus week number 3. It's currently FXO versus NS Hosa. QXC being the ace player here, he's got to pull it out. He's going to have to pull a Dongray Gu to get our team out of this one.
But he's definitely capable of doing it. He's shown a lot of promise so far. Jakshi is a player that's done extremely well for NS Hosa. Not a whole lot of experience before this, so I think that his time might be running out a little bit here.
Yeah, he's got to be getting a little bit tired. His macro is really good. He plays very standard. I like his moves last game, making the bunkers there.
Yep.
He realized that, you know, making the bunkers can be a bad choice if you lose a battle and your units can't retreat very quickly. It gets kind of nasty, but he realized I have just enough here to make a hard contain and roll with it, and so he did. Yeah, and
the interesting thing is he was just barely able to hold that. Every single battle he just barely won. If he didn't kill a few of those drones that he did with that early Hellion pressure, the game would have been a lot different.
Absolutely.
But this game is going to be completely different as we do have a TVT. It is going to be on Zelnaga Fortress with 3 spawn locations, so it's going to be a lot easier for the players to scout exactly where each other are and know if there's any sort of cheese coming out. So generally you're going to see a longer game playing out here.
Absolutely. It's starting. Can QXC bring FXO back, or will Jakshi close it out? Let's find out here at the GSTL. Alright, over here at the right side of the map, member of the team FXO, you've probably heard of him, he is... FXO QXC. Oppositely, at the bottom left of the map, a member of the team NS Hosa, he is...
NS Hosa, Jakshi!
Jakshi. Now, Jakshi, his TVT is going to be pretty strong, I think. Most likely we'll see him. Most likely we'll see him play a. I don't want to say a mech style, but I want to say that we won't see a very micro oriented style. We won't see a lot of drops. I don't think we'll see Banshees. We might, but I think he's going to stick with that macro.
And so QXC is actually going for the normal timed refinery, whilst NS Hosa is going for a later refinery. It's probably going to be going for some sort of expansion. This is really good if you can defend it for a little while, but if QXC can put on a lot of early aggression, maybe with Cloaked Banshees or Blue Flame Hellions, or just really strong bio pressure, it can really give him a huge advantage in those early fights.
Certainly can. QXC told me specifically before this match that he thought that Jakshi's macro is incredible. He doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with him in macro, so we may see something unusual out of him. He doesn't want to play a long game, that's what he told me. And he said that he's watched Jakshi, he's played him on the ladder and such. He knows the style, and he knows that playing a longer game against him is just not going to be something QXC feels comfortable with. Plus, on top of that, if he kills Jakshi in a longer game, he's going to have so many more games to play anyways that he doesn't want to be tired out himself.
Yeah, that's true, and Jakshi is going to be going to this game tired. Fortunately, QXC was able to take down like scouting SCV, so Jakshi doesn't know if there's any sort of it could either be 1 refinery or 0 refineries.
Yeah.
But not knowing that is the really key information that you're looking for.
Basically, Jakshi doesn't know if he's doing the exact same thing he is, which is a 1 barracks gasless expand. He's actually only getting 1 refinery here instead of 2. A little tip for you guys, on a map like this, always build your refinery further away from your ramp first. Your first refinery, make it the one that's further away from the ramp. That way, when your opponent goes up to scout, he won't be able to see your gas until the last second. If you do a good job microing your marine, he won't be able to see it at all.
Yeah, and this SCV is going to try to come in, it's going to try to scout, but QXC, knowing that the marine is there, he wouldn't necessarily make it past. Smartly pulls away, saves that 1 extra marine, SCV. He's going to be able to bring it home or put it at the Zelnaga Tower, which on this map only lasts for a little while, for anyone that still hasn't gotten the memo.
Yep.
But it is going to still be out there
Blue
for this early
fight. Coming out for QXC.
So this is actually extremely good for QXC. If you can wait until Jakshi actually floats over to the expansion, you can run in there and do a lot of damage. This isn't common, but as a Terran player against another Terran, if you get Blue Flame early, you can actually just pull all your SCVs and go for an all-in. When you pull your SCVs, it forces them to pull their SCVs, but your Blue Flame Hellions just destroy all their SCVs and gives your army a huge advantage over theirs.
Yep, you can do something like that. It has worked in the past. People have kind of figured out that if you make a bunker, it makes it a lot easier to deal with that, but...
True.
The starport is coming up here. I think what we'll probably see is Blue Flame Hellions dropped followed up by Cloaked Banshees. I'm basing this off of the fact that QXC said he didn't want to play a long game. He's going to try to take out as many Marines as possible with the Hellions. STVs, of course, if he can, but he just wants to do as much damage with those, then follow up with the Banshees, then get ahead that way rather than trying to make a fast expansion like we see Jogchi do. And he predicted that Jogchi would do something like this, given that that's his style. He knows his macro is really good.
So very nice choice by QXC. However, it does get scanned by Jogchi, so Jogchi is going to know what's going to be coming out here. He is getting combat shields for his Marines and getting a lot of Marines. With that, he is going to be able to zone out any sort of Banshees that are coming and also just be able to defend if he gets a bunker out. However, he is going for the float now. Once the transfer happens, he is going to be at a vulnerable period of time until he can get up 1 or 2 bunkers. Ideally, you'd want 2 in a situation like this.
Getting those combat shields first, a little bit interesting. Normally you see Stim first. He is making Marauders out of that barracks, which is a good choice because not only do Marauders do well against early siege tank timing attacks, which you hardly ever see anymore, but they also work quite well against Hellions. It looks like QXC is going to use these Hellions at the front. While no, I take it back, there's a dropship coming to follow them. He's going to just check with these and then do a drop later. He is researching Cloak, though. I don't like the idea that he just showed those Hellions like that.
I kind of do, because it forces those bio units to jump in that bunker, and when they jump in the bunker, they're focusing entirely on the front. And while they're focusing on the front, he is going to be able to drop in the back here. If you run... Oh, nope.
Gets out of there immediately.
An okay choice there. There's a risk associated with staying down. If you can get by the bio units, you can do a lot of damage, but there's a chance he could have been caught and just taken out very easily. So he's going to keep these units alive for a later fight. He's a Banshee follow-up to this, which is really nice.
Yeah, and he actually has kept his opponent so nervous that he got super supply block there. He actually had to make 2 depots. He's doing a great job with that. He himself, though, is supply blocked. He's made a command center. He's researching siege mode right now. He's going to try to find a weak spot to drop in. He's just basically forcing his opponent to run around. I think he's trying to force some stims. But yeah, I think he's finding out now that they're just combat shield stim isn't done yet. But still doing a great job. Now he's going to try to run around this bunker maybe. He is just all over the place with this dropship, and I love it because there's no reason not to be.
That is very true, and very soon a Banshee will be coming out here to do some sort of damage from one front. It's going to force the Marines to be split, and when they split a little bit, these Blue Flame Hellions are going to be able to do a lot of damage to whichever force is smaller.
The Hellion does come. Yeah, Hellion comes over, sees how many Marines are over here on this side. He's going to send that Banshee in. It does have Cloak, does have a decent amount of energy. Second Banshee is going to come and follow this up. Banshee cloaks. There are no missile turrets here, and in fact, right now he has just enough energy for 1 scan, and a perfect scan there catches the Banshee.
Also catches the drop that is going on to minimize the amount of damage that it's going to do. The SCVs are forced to fold. Oh, very nice blue flames there by QXC. He's going to be able to try to get, yes, another attack going on there, but they are going to get cleaned up. Not significant damage. What QXC needed to have happen, but he's going to need to do a little bit more moving on, or he's going to fall further and further behind in this game. Fortunately, he was able to pick up that Hellion. He's going to be able to bring it home in that medevac, get it repaired, and be able to move more into the next part of the game.
That was the sickest save, but can he save it this time? Because the Viking is out.
That Viking is going to chase the medevac away.
Luckiest Hellion alive, now no longer alive.
Interesting.
He wanted to drop it out, but he was over unbuildable terrain when pressed the drop command. Now the scan goes off, does take out the second Banshee. It's starting to look really bad for QXC. You have to be a little bit critical of his Banshee control. Of course, he's trying to micro his Banshees, micro the dropships, micro the Hellions, take a command center, keep building supply depots, get siege mode, get sensor towers. He's doing everything at once, and he's starting to fall apart a little bit.
It was a nice idea by QXC going for this build, but Jogchi had the exact defenses he needed and had them in the right spot the entire time. He split up the forces exactly how he needed to, not overestimating one force, not underestimating the other, and it's just been extremely difficult for QXC to find that one hole that he can try to punch through.
Well, I don't think QXC is going to hold this, to be honest with you, Trevor. There are 3 Marauders in that mix. There are 2 siege tanks. He's got a ton of Marines with combat shields.
But this one Hellion is going to be able to do a little bit of damage. He took out 1 Marine, 1 SCV.
And he actually pulled back because SCVs came out. He's actually going to drop siege tanks on the high ground here and start sieging up. This is a smart move.
Yeah, really nice maneuver. He's just going to keep those siege tanks down. It would have been better to keep the siege tanks on one siege tank on the low grounds and just ferry up a bit more bio units. But he does have the time to get up his entire army if he wants to. That is exactly what he's going to be doing. It's forcing QXC to siege up further away. Otherwise, he would get his tanks in a vulnerable position. But
that starport is going to follow the Banshee. It looks like it might pop out. Banshee does come out. That will be somewhat helpful. He's going to target down siege tanks. It does get scanned, though. Baits the Marines, though, into QXC siege tanks. Starport does fall. QXC in a very difficult position here. The Marines are going to run around the other side at the natural, which is undefended.
Oh, this is very hard for QXC to defend. There's just so many units here out for Joxy. He is able to keep a lot of the units in the main base of QXC to do a lot of damage. It is going to get cleaned up by the Banshee, but the rest of the forces were able to push this expansion back. The SCVs are going to repair and keep it alive, but that costs a lot of money, and he's not getting any sort of mining time right here. So this is a huge victory for Joxy. He's currently sitting at 106 supply compared to QXC's 63. And there are 36 SCVs for QXC compared to 48 of Joxy. Joxy very, very far ahead and knows he has the ability to lose a lot of units here. He's going for a drop just to keep QXC on his feet. This might actually win him the game right here if he does a lot of damage. He cleans up the tank, but dropping on the units and using a lot of the Marauders and Marines to do the rest of the damage. Last tank from Joxy coming out here to destroy the tank of QXC. And QXC brings it to 1-4 in favor of NSOSO.
The Joxy all killed FXO. QXC making a face at it.
Yeah, very good idea by QXC, but Joxy just, I thought this was going to be his last game, but he actually did a very, very nice job. Showed that he is strong in every single matchup, has a presence. Looks like he's going to give it to maybe a girlfriend, maybe sister. I don't know.
Maybe just a girl that he thinks is cute. She wasn't bad, man. I saw her. I would have given it to her too,
All
man.
kill. Wow. And it's also doing a really nice job of, they send out one player to gauge their opponents, and then they send up the perfect counter to the rest of the team for the all-kill.
This is actually the second time this has happened in this exact same way for this team.
Yeah, NS Hoso is actually looking to be a pretty scary team so far in this GSTL.
FXO, obviously, a little bit shaken by this. It's not really shown in their expressions here that we've seen on camera, but I guarantee you that it's mentally. I mean, I'm a member of this team as well, and for me right now, the way I feel is that I feel two things. I feel that Hoso is really good. Yep. I mean, I knew that from the start, but it's more confirmed to me now, and I feel obviously a lot of disappointment for our team. You know, it's not disappointment like I'm disappointed in the players. I'm just disappointed that our team hasn't done as well as it should, and it is difficult to deal with, and it affects my mentality as it affects the FXO players' mentalities as well. So
yeah, and you guys are a new team as well, and you're a new foreign team. So while NS Hoso is a new Korean team, they all have experience working in this environment, so as soon as they started the team, they were ready to go immediately. Whereas you guys are not only learning the Korean style, you are practicing to try to learn the game, but you're also learning the practice environment.
You're learning Korea. I mean, we're living in a different country. Most people don't speak a lot of English. It's very difficult to have the right mindset when there are so many new things going on. Everything's very different. It's like trying to play upside down. It's not quite that hard, but it's different and it's difficult. Yep. And as time goes on, our team will improve, obviously. So we're not like crying about it.
And you guys are improving quite a bit. We are seeing a lot of improvement week to week for FXO. However, we are going to look at the results here of today. FX Oz, formerly from FOU, actually took out the first game against Seal, the Zerg player. But then after that, Joxy was pulled out by NS Hoso, and he was able to all kill the rest of the team in very nice fashion.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad about the guy. He played good games. He played very standard and good macro games.
A little mistake there. The set 5 should be QXC.
Yeah, not T-Gun.
So Joxy showing that he is strong in every single matchup. It'll be interesting to see how this team does later on. They show that Sage can do a really nice job. They all killed FOU. Now they pulled out Joxy, who people mostly didn't see before, and he was able to all kill FXO. Maybe next week they'll pull out some other unknown player, and they'll
maybe Sculpt will do it, man.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty strong Terran player as well.
He's not too bad.
Yeah. So a lot of interesting things happened today. Some pretty good games. A lot of improvement needs to happen from a lot of different areas, but I think we're definitely going to see that happen as this league progresses.
Well, every loss, if you look at it the right way, teaches you something.
Yes.
And that's something Nada says all the time. I can't stress to you guys enough. That attitude is the attitude to have. And it's the attitude that every member of that team sitting behind me on that bench has, is that even though we lost today, we're going to learn from it, and it's okay. No one's going to be really upset about it. Our mindset's not going to be shattered. It's difficult. It's frustrating. Everyone's going to go home with, it in the back of their mind tonight, but it's going to be okay. Look forward to more games from FXO.
And those little things are actually really great motivators for the future. If you win once and then you get, oh, well, I'm awesome now, you're going to practice a little bit less. We see that a lot with the champions of even the GSL, where they win their match, they're the best player in the world right now, and then they party a little too much.
Yeah.
And they don't practice as much as they really need to. And then the next season they get knocked out first or second rounds, and it's really hard to get a repeat victory.
We'll have a little interview here.
FXO와 NS호서의 경기가 있었는데 NS호서가 FXO 팀을 상대로 4대1로 올킬을 하면서 승리했습니다. 자, 오늘 MVP로 선정된 정지훈 선수와 박영식 감독 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 우선 정지훈 선수 MVP
Obviously the MVP
선정됐습니다.
of the team
정말
is
좋을 것 같은데
Jagji
소감이
here.
어떠신가요?
처음에 너무
How do you
긴장됐는데
feel?
두 번째 판부터는 긴장이 풀려서 좀 잘 된 것 같아요. 올킬.
네, 막 세트가
I was really
진행되고
nervous
있고
at first, but as the
경기
games went on, my nervousness kind of faded
오늘
away.
경기 본인 실력의 몇 %까지 발휘하신 것 같나요?
한 60-70%는 된 것 같고 다음번엔 더 좋은 경기력으로 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
다음번엔 100% 경기력
네.
I'll show even better games
기대하겠습니다.
next time I play.
그리고 우리 박영식
와우.
감독님 제가 지난주에도 인터뷰했던 것 같은데요. 인터뷰에서 우린 비밀
We're gonna get
경기가
an interview with the coach now.
보여주지 못한 게 아쉽다 이런 말씀하셨잖아요. 비밀 경기 얼마나 남아 있는 건가요?
아직 저희 좀 더 있는 것 같습니다. 비밀 경기가 좀 더 있는 것 같고요. 저희 소대 예를 들면 천재적이라고 불리우는 저우 선수도 한 명 있고 앞으로 연습을 많이 해서 또 좋은 모습으로 찾아뵙겠습니다.
네, 기대하겠습니다. 갑자기 궁금해졌는데요. 정지훈 선수의 이름보다 아이디 짝지를 기억하시는 분들이 되게 많아요.
He's basically
아이디 뜻이
saying
뭔가요?
that
옛날에
he's
수생활할
got
때
more Zergs up his sleeve,
지훈이란 이름이
and
2명
he's got a lot more
있었는데
players that we haven't even
키가
seen
엄청
yet compared to the other
커가지고
teams.
튼지고 저는 짝지로 불리게 됐어요.
아, 재밌는데요. 네, 알겠습니다. 네, 마지막으로 감독님, 지금 비너스 디비전 2연승함으로써 1위로 올라섰습니다. 팬들의 관심도 정말 뜨거워지고 있는데요. 팬들한테 한 말씀 해주시죠.
네, 아무래도 저희가 첫 출전하기 전에는 팬들분들께서 조금 약팀이다, 그래서 기대들 별로 안 해주신 것 같았어요. 근데 첫 경기 이후에는
Well, he says at first that people thought that our team was not very good, but
미안하다라는 사과도 많이
now the
말씀을
fans
많이
are
들었고,
apologizing and saying, "Oh, this team's actually
보답을 하기
pretty good."
위해서 열심히 노력을 할 거고요. 오늘 짝지 선수가 그 올킬을 하고
So,
저희가
in order to
준비했는데
keep up this image
마지막에
and
선물을
what the fans
준
want,
여성분이
this image they've
여자친구예요.
now given us
네.
of being a good team, he's
여자친구한테
gonna have to practice hard
확실히
and do
선물
well,
전달하고
keep that image.
애정 공세를 못해서 조금 아쉽긴 했네요. 네. 근데 좀 오늘 미흡한 점이라면 좀 그거에 미흡한 게 아닐까 싶습니다. 오늘 앞으로 더 열심히 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 앞으로
Just
좋은
basically saying
선전
thanks.
기대하겠습니다. 네, 저는 지금까지
The usual
신은
interview closer.
강호라고 말할 수 있을 것 같습니다. NS호서 팀을 만나봤고요. 이난
Well,
캐스터 나와주시죠.
That's that. I like that
Yeah.
they said they have a lot more players up the sleeve, just like you were saying, you know, next time they lose the first game and then just pull somebody out and he just all kills the next team.
Yeah, and that team does have a lot of passion. They are working extremely hard, so
They absolutely are.
It's showing itself. It'll be interesting to see how they do. So, if anyone doesn't know, this is the Friday matches, the Venus League. So we do have 2 matches on the same day. Coming up very soon is going to be IM versus ZeNEX, 2 very strong teams as well.
Yeah. You know, a few months ago, someone would have said, "Oh, IM will crush them, all kill incoming." Now, not so sure about that.
But we can see if that's going to happen very soon here.
All right, we're gonna have a break before we go into those next matches, so we'll see you guys afterwards. See you soon.